From the moment a person wakes up in the morning, when he has a bit awareness, he's up and he has to organize his relation to reality, where he is. Otherwise, he starts the day as a beast, meaning according to the orders of the body. He should immediately raise himself to the degree of the Adam, which is in contact with the upper mind and heart, the upper system, called Shekhinah, divinity. It is also called Elokim, God, Malchut, upper Malchut. And when he is in contact with the upper mind and heart, and so he runs his life. He doesn't let his life carry on according to his body, pulling him to the right or to the left or different directions. Meaning, always stay aware and to try to stay in the feeling of that mind and heart, calling it Shekhinah, the upper mind and heart, when he belongs to that upper system, and from that he should start the day. And all the time, as it is written, I see the Creator before my eyes always. To always be in it, not to disconnect from it. So, out of these efforts, he will quickly come to a state that it will clarify for him. It will be clear to him that he is truly within the Shekhinah. And so he is pulled throughout his life in a way that he will discover more and more who is governing him, and likewise who he is bestowing to. As Baal HaSulam writes, that we can feel everything in reality. It only depends on our efforts. To what extent we are chasing the revelation of the upper system. Therefore, the upper Nukva, Malchut of the upper degree, which becomes Keter, meaning the entire mind and heart of our degree, the lower degree. So the Malchut of the upper degree certainly is in control of us, on the one hand. On the other hand, we learn how to affect it by raising the man. What lies between the degrees, as we learn from the wisdom of Kabbalah, is only man and mad. And if we organize properly, we can bestow to the upper degree. We can affect it under the condition, the extent, and the manner that we can bestow. We can also receive. It's a sign we are ready. What does receiving mean? Being part of the upper degree, connecting to it, and combining with it with awareness, understanding, feeling, different actions, and so to advance. And then we find out that all our roots within the upper degree are within the upper degree, and all its actions are only aimed at us. And it is waiting, expecting us to always demand and be in contact with it in any possible way to express connection, love, different demands. Everything is only to be more and more connected to it. And to the extent that we connect to it with our heart and soul, and we reach dvekut, adhesion, then we receive additional disturbances upon which we work again. This is the meaning of chasing the Holy Shekhinah, to cling once more. And so each and every time, this work is the work by which we correct the entire broken desire that disconnects us from the upper degree. It turns out that the upper degree is one. However, it is divided intentionally for us for 125 different degrees and sub-degrees, so that we'll have an opportunity, a possibility to cleave onto it in many different manners that are only divided for us, but actually it's all one. It turns out that our work is starting in the morning when we wake up, when we get up. It's in all the time to keep ourselves connected to that upper system and to hold on to it. It's not that we're looking up to the skies. It's not in the skies, it's not in any place. This upper system is only clarified in the connection between us. And accordingly, we can also measure to what extent we come closer to the truth. Do we want to see, to feel, to decipher what we are learning in the connection between us? Because all in all, besides the connection between us, there is no upper reality, sideways, or lower reality. Nothing. We start feeling more and more that within the connection of our different desires, when they're different, they're remote and separate from each other. So specifically within the connection between us, and we don't corrupt any desire, we don't change the desires, we only work with the connection between them. And it's a very subtle work here, very gentle. How to use very subtle tools, and we try not to touch each and every friend, any friend. We don't touch and we don't change, only the connection between the friends. And this is clarified only if we are directed towards the goal together. I don't go into the inner businesses of each and every friend, into the qualities of the friends. Nothing. Only regarding the way we are aimed toward the goal. And then the connection between us are as the Shekhinah that we should carry out. And we start feeling how the connections between us are the main part of reality. And we see how suddenly this corporeal reality is less important, and what's more important is the system of connections and ties between us. And we really see how in the connections between us, we build the upper system, the upper world. The type of connections between us determine the situations, the states, the degrees. And then we see, according to the connections between us, we see who is more into it, who is less into it, in what circles, who is called truly Yashar Kel, straight to the Creator, who's the one supporting, who may come closer and join this mass that is in the network of connections between us, close to implementing it, to carrying it out. And some are working passively. They are willing to join if they will be governed. And some certainly don't understand, they don't feel. However, it is clarified that everyone is suffering, and this suffering is not measured according to the suffering of this world, according to the corporeal signs that one cannot fulfill his food, sex, family, money, honor, knowledge. Rather, we see that they suffer because they can't reveal the Shekhinah, even though they don't understand it. So this is what we should, the way we should depict the situation, the system of forces, the upper system in which we are, and exist in it. Try to have it so that our five senses do not confuse us. Just as a blind person, he doesn't feel what we feel in this world. 98% of our corporeal impression is perceived by sight. So he sees the world differently, a blind man. He has completion, complement his sense in a different way. So we should use our five senses in a lesser way when we determine the situations. We should use them only to be oriented in the body, and that's it. And for spiritual orientation, we should activate the inner forces.
No.
Until we start feeling from our connection, as we are in the same system, and this system is a live system. It has life of its own, a purpose of its own, a plan of its own. How this Nukva, Malchut Ein Sof, how she governs us. It's not that we are in it and build it, rather she is there, and to begin with, she governs us and relates to us, and then we start seeing differently the reality in the world, which entirely moves according to the upper plan and not according to what we seemingly do in this world. And then it certainly becomes easier, better, more comfortable, happier. It's not that we, in this world, prepare something or carry out something. Rather, it all comes from above, from the upper command. And only to the extent that we are not in contact with the upper Malchut, then it seems to us that we seemingly play with something on our own, like children who are left in the room and then they're making some mess. It seems to them that they're affecting the entire reality. That's why it's very important. The moment we wake up in the morning, we immediately start connecting to there's none else besides Him, and how we arrange our relationship with the upper force. That's the first thing.